Today we're looking at skipping, just another something for you to do at home. Christian OT, sensory health coach, giving you another sensory health tip while you are at home. So skipping is not always with a skipping rope. We're going to look at activities. If you don't have a skipping rope at home, you can always use, this is from my dressing gown, and we've got a scarf as well. Any kind of like long scarves can be used, but we're going to look at different types of skipping activities. The first one, the easiest to do, we'll start from the littlies up, is if you have the rope on the floor or attached to something, maybe the bottom of a chair, and you just hook it around the bottom, and then they have to jump over it. So you are on the floor and you just kind of like wiggle it, and it's like a C on the floor, and they have to jump over. It's all going to be soft, especially if you do it with a scarf, but they just have to try and jump from one side to the other. Or sometimes if it is a scarf, you can say they jump in the sea, and they have to try and either get over it and safely to the other side, or they can actually try and jump in time to go into the scarf for a little stimulation. If you have older ones, obviously you are well used to, I'm sure, in the playground, having two of you where you take the side of the other side of the skipping rope, and you can just jump higher. So you can just jump, attach it to something that you don't mind. If it is just you and one child at home, then you need to be a little bit creative and work out what it is you can attach it to safely so they can get more of a jump, or just swing it again so they get the experience of having to jump over something that is moving. Maybe you want to take this time to actually teach your child how to skip, and maybe they haven't skipped before. I often see children who are maybe 11, 12, 13, and they still haven't learned to skip. So I'm going to show you now different techniques to learn how to skip. But it's a wonderful activity for hand-eye or eye-body coordination. When you see something, so visually you have to sequence, you have to time. So good for development to practice those skills where you have to judge your own body according to something that you see. So if we have a skipping rope, just a little technique that I teach my students, the families that come in to see me, that you start with a skipping rope behind, and it's nice if you have the rope set at a length that it's just behind your knees and that your arms are out like that. It's a nice length, so it's not too long. That's why I've got knots in mine. Sometimes the skipping rope can be too long and too just difficult to manage. So it's about that kind of a length. So you start behind, and you've got 4 words. You go back, so back with the arms, over, floor, and then jump or walk. So if you can get those 4 words, so you start behind to begin with, you go back with the arms, over, you can hear it just hit the floor, and then you step over it or you jump over it. It's so important that you get the floor. So you've got back, over, floor. It's really important that it kind of goes down to the floor, because that's the biggest point that I often see in therapy, that children get caught up. They can't coordinate that the rope coming down and it hits the front of their knees and it hits the front of their legs. So if it hits the floor first, it just slows everything down. It hits the floor, it's low enough for them to either step over, if that's all they can manage for now, or to actually jump over. Depends if you like to skip with an actual skipping motion or skip with a jumping motion. But it's exactly the same strategy for any child. So back, over, floor, jump. So a little technique for you this morning. So there's other types of skipping too. Maybe you've seen these, or maybe you have them in a cupboard somewhere. This is where you've got it and you attach it to your leg, and it spins round. Now I am the world's worst at doing this, but it's just the kind of idea that you put it round the leg and that you spin it round and hop. Okay, so you spin it round and then you hop over it. It's a lovely one for developing hip stability, core strength, especially in the lower limbs. And again, with skipping, you've got lovely jumping, you've got proprioceptive information, you've got vestibular input, you've got an extra element of timing, so it's a step up from jumping. It's just a lovely activity, so enjoy skipping. Let me know how you get on, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Take care.